Okay, welcome back to my channel. I have not posted in ages. I decided to do something different. I've been watching a lot of Planet Zoo lately, and I have decided that I want to do a build. Let's have a look at this atrocious entrance that I started building. It's only part one, so I will continue doing this maybe once a week or something, but yeah. Let's do this. Okay, so firstly what I did was delete the paths and then make it into two 4x4 things, so it's 8 meters wide. I do not like that pattern that I did. It was rubbish. I changed it later on. I spent a lot of time making this path. Like the terrain tool was not it was not cooperating with what I was trying to do. So I am sorry, I don't know what I was doing there. I thought I needed to measure exactly 4 meters down, but I didn't do that in the end because I figured out that I can just use tunneling. I tried to use tunneling to go at a right angle from the line to grid tiles, but it wasn't doing its thing. So what I ended up doing was just making like a little platform there and then making stairs from there. It works, so we're just gonna stick with it. The game doesn't want to do anything else apparently. And then yeah, we flattened out the terrain. It was a horrible experience trying to get it to the level that I wanted it, because I didn't want the platform at the bottom to like float in the air, so I tried to bring up the terrain underneath it, but terrain does not behave like that. So I just spent ages trying to flatten things. But it was great. Yeah, I've been using the chisel tool a lot because it makes flattening so much easier. I finally managed to do it. So then I flattened everything to the foundation, and then just did the same thing on the other side. It was a lot easier because the foundation was already the correct level. I just checked that they are in line with each other there with those pieces, and then I tried to straighten out the back, which I get rid of in the end anyway, so that was a bit useless. Yeah, so flattening a lot. A lot of just micro work, if you could call it that, I guess. Yeah, it's really sad because I end up deleting most of the terrain work anyway, so oh yeah, I don't know what happened there. The terrain was sticking out for a bit. And then I joined them up. I filled in that little bit of terrain that was tunneled there. It was really annoying me, trying to get them to be perpendicular. And then yeah, what I decided to do was to add some toilets underneath the stairs, because I thought they were kind of hidden away like that, like toilets would be. So they're not really in your face. I think. Yeah, and then I tried adding like a new world theme, but I didn't find it as like realistic or whatever you want to call it. So I tried using some of these wooden pieces you get from the climbing frame stuff. I don't like how the texture is so repetitive, but I think I tried to break it up a little. Also, the selection tool in this game is just awful. I keep trying to select the wood pieces, but it just keeps adding the bathroom, and it drove me mad. I'm so sorry. Oh. Yeah, I spent a long time doing this, and I don't know why. I think in the end I even switch some of the longer pieces out to the shorter ones, because I did want to make it as computer friendly as possible, if that makes sense. Ideally I would want to put this on the workshop at some point, so I want other people to be able to use it, because I know my computer can handle it, but a lot of people can't. Like, a lot of people's computers can't. Yeah, just getting rid of unnecessary pieces that are going to be underneath the stairs anyway, so you won't see them, so it just reduces the piece count. Yeah, it's looking really kind of North American at this point, even though it's by North American I mean like Canadian, what the New World theme is supposed to be like, even though the zoo is set in Asia. So I don't know. Yeah, I tried doing some custom wooden railings here, and then I decided that I did not like them, so that's deleted completely. Apparently I am changing people's lives on Reddit, so I'm getting a lot of notifications to lot of notifications to a post I made. I am so sorry. People are like, oh my god, I did not know about this. Yeah, our bathroom's looking pretty great. I did not add a sign to it just yet, I think, because I haven't decided how exactly it's gonna look. I will do it next part. Just making sure I hide all those little bits that might stick out. I don't know if I should make custom flooring for the bathroom as well, or if it looks fine. I'm trying to like hide the underneath of the stairs, so it looks like a bigger bathroom as well from if you just look at the doors. Yeah, I do get now. Here is when I get rid of the path and try and change it to something I like a lot better. But yeah, I ended up going with the natural path. On the downstairs, I did the wood. I don't know what they're called, but like a wooden ground thing for the path upstairs because I didn't want it to look as natural. I do not know what to put at the very front where there's the big empty space on either side. I might just put some flora or something. I don't know yet. Putting another toilet on the other side because people might need the bathroom right as they arrive at the zoo, I guess. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the pathing to work. I hate it in this game. It's horrible. I don't know why. Adding some filling to the stairs as well now, which you know, I get rid of anyway later on, so this is all just a big waste of time right now. I think I'm just doing it to position the bathroom a bit better. And then now I'm just thinking about what to do next because I do decorate that middle bit. I just wanted to make sure the stuff around it looks good first. What am I... Okay, now I think I start dealing with what's going on there. So what I wanted to do was to have like a nice little lake there, with a little waterfall coming out that you will see me build in a second. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it look... I'm experimenting with how it could look realistic. I don't know if I managed to make it as realistic as possible because at the top there isn't a river coming in from where the waterfall is, so the waterfall is coming from like underground. Sorry for all the gestures, but trying to explain things. I saved the zoo because I did not want it to crash. Like, the game hasn't crashed ever, I think. I don't think it ever crashed for me very much, so. But just in case, maybe it did once, but that was when my GPU was messing like things up really badly, but I changed that now, so. It has no crashes, barely even any lag. I think once I turned the camera on it was dropping a few frames, but other than that it fixed itself straight away after, so I don't know what was going on. Just putting some shops down. I will decorate them later. I haven't done that in this build. I just wanted to get the general layout of the area and how long I need to make the paths to fit all the shops I want. I think that side has, I don't know, each side has either 2 drinks and 1 food or 2 foods and 1 drink. The middle bit has the souvenir shops and the information center. Well, souvenir, I mean, I think it has a hat thing. It has the hat shop and it has loony balloons and the info center in the middle. So then I started playing around with these mossy rocks because I have barely even touched the South American DLC. So I was like, oh great, I can finally do it. And then you will see in a bit that I got really annoyed with the rocks because I realized that as you tilt them, the moss grows at the top, so it changes, and I was trying to get the moss at an angle so it looks better. And then I realized later on that there are actually rocks that are fully covered in moss, so I think I used a bit of that in there. Yep, if you ever need to mix up the rocks, you just copy a big section, turn it around, adjust a few bits, and then there you go. You have some interesting looking rock layout. I tend to use that quite a bit. I haven't used it at the beginning, which I was really surprised by, but then I realized that you can do that. Oh yeah, here's me getting annoyed at how the rocks grow, the moss grows at the top. Very upsetting. Yep, and then I just use the fully covered one. And then I start working on the waterfall area, which I personally like it, but then I know if I compare it to other people who are way better at building than me, then it looks rubbish. Sorry, I keep pausing in the thing because I have Lil Simsy's live stream going on in the background, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's saying something interesting. I better listen. Yeah, but then I just duplicated it, tilted it up a little so it doesn't look like one-dimensional, if you know what I mean. And then I just tried filling out that corner bit with some rocks, and I think later on some vegetation goes there too. I think it looks fine. I don't know how other people will think it looks. Please, if you think it looks... Oh, my eyebrows are annoying me, but... If you think it looks really bad, then please comment it and like don't be afraid to comment and tell me how to improve it, because I am genuinely trying to improve my building skills in this game and in The Sims 4. Although Sims 4 I hate landscaping for some reason. It's just like I'm so happy to build a house and everything, and I'm just like looking at the outside like, excuse me, what do I put there? I don't know. Yeah, I start working on the waterfall here. It's looking great. Yeah, you can see the game has started with the stuff because otherwise the waterfall effect doesn't work. Some of the waterfall effects kind of float in mid-air, but it's because that's how it looked good. So imagine the jets are just not there. Is that... No, I didn't... No, there's nothing sticking out at the top for a second. I thought there was. Just aligning the bottom of the waterfall. I think I don't know if I added one more waterfall later on to fill like the curtain out. I am quite happy with how the waterfall turned out. I didn't like the bit of rock just kind of floating there in the middle, so I added another one like it's kind of curved and sticking out like that. Then I added some... Okay, I wanted to add some kind of effect where it kind of just, it looks like the water splashing up against the rocks, but all of it just looked kind of rivery, so I don't know if I like that, what I ended up with. I don't even know if I kept it, to be fair, so I'm in for a surprise here too if I didn't. But I don't know what else to do with, like, to make it not look so still, because it is a waterfall, so the water's not going to be completely still, even though it's kind of a lake. I kind of imagine it's kind of draining at the bottom underneath the path and things. Otherwise there would be a flood. Yeah, started adding some vegetation. As I said before, I am not good at landscaping, not in The Sims 4, not in this, so please do not judge me for this. I don't know if I added too much plants or too little plants, or too many plants in some places and then not enough in others. I kind of wanted this thing to be like a center piece area of like this area, so I didn't want to block it off with lots of plants around it, but then also it kind of looked empty if I didn't. And then this is the part when I think I realized that I do not like that wood under the stairs at all, and I just decided to cover it with rocks. It's gonna be quite interesting what's gonna come on top of the rocks there, because I was like, okay, this is not gonna look realistic, but it does look nice, I think. So, but in real life I don't think you would find that anywhere. This is me just trying to cover up the wood bits, and then I realized, oh yeah, I wanted like a mossy thing that's coming up from the ground, but it kind of dies out as you get to the top. it didn't look great because all the mossy rocks just kind of stopped. It didn't just like fade out, kind of. So I just decided to cover it with normal rocks, and then I'm trying to remember what I did. I know adding the next bit kind of annoyed the hell out of me. Oh yeah, this then I realized that I did this in the wrong order, and I should have gotten rid of the wooden bits before. Yep, I do it on this side. Because I learned from my mistakes. And then I tried to add some mossy rocks there, and then I think I decided that I don't like it, so I delete it. It's basically what my buildings are like. Yeah, and this is when I'm like, oh, some like vines or something might look good, and then I decided, I was like, okay, maybe not vines, because I don't know why not. I didn't like it, but then ivy I felt like was a good thing. I need to cover up like that top bit because it just looks like it's coming out of nowhere. Also, like gravity does not work like that. Like gravity doesn't just go straight down, like it should be like hanging down, but then it would have looked super awkward at the top. So I think I was like gonna like fade it out towards the bottom, and then I realized that there's no way to actually do that very nicely, or at least I don't have the patience to do it, nor the creativity. So in the end, I kind of just ended up covering the whole thing with those circular ivy things. I thought it looked fine, and then at the corner, I kind of just did bits of ivy. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it needs more green because it just suddenly stops. But then also the angle that they are at, it's really hard to put in with those rocks. Any suggestions are welcome there. I put some in the little nooks in the rocks because I thought like it will just add a bit of greenery there. And then I foolishly thought that I could just copy over the ivy thing, and then I was like, oh no, it's sticking out the wrong way, and then I was like, oh no, I can't rotate it, so because it's gonna be the wrong shape. So I ended up having to do it all over again. I think it's I am surprised by how patient I was with myself, because normally if a build takes more than an hour in this game for me, I just fully give up. I'm just like, okay, it looks half decent, goodbye. And now this looks half decent, but I spent a long time making it look half decent, so, you know. This is probably me pausing to listen to Lil Simsy again. Keep in mind that this build took like 3 hours and 15 minutes, so you're only getting a 24-minute version of it. And then I decided to shape the ivy in a bit of an awkward position again, because it just covered it much better, but then it's also sticking out the wrong way again. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I had some vines coming down from the waterfall? But then I was like, will ivy look better? And then, well, I only thought it in my head, I didn't actually try it out, but then I was like, I want some variation in the color, so I just went for it. Also, I know that vines don't just grow out of rocks. I know they grow out of trees. I just thought it might add like a little bit of texture and depth to the whole build. So we're not going for realism here, we are going for being interesting. And then I started adding a lot of plants, yet another vine, because I was like, ooh, I could have like one that's sticking out that way. Yep, another one. Apparently I'm obsessed with these things now. And then I accidentally clicked on that long one, and I was like, oh, what if I put that like that? And then I was like, no, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I wanted to put more trees. This is the point where I'm like, okay, it's kind of covering up the view, and I want the view to be there, but then I also want lots of plants, so I don't know what to do. So I ended up using some of these trees as bushes and just lowering them down. Lots of plants scattered across everywhere. I used the bamboo as sort of a grassy thing. I mean, it is Asia, so you could find bamboo there. And yeah, and then I realized if guests walk past they won't be able to see anything through the tree, so I lowered everything down a bit more, and then I was like, oh, speaking of vegetation, water can have water lilies. So I added a few scattered across. I'm not sure how low people usually put them. I wanted it to have like a bit of water in the middle, because the one time I did saw a water lily in I think it was in an actual zoo. Yeah, they just had water kind of rippling on top of it, which I thought was quite cool. I don't remember if I lowered the plants down anymore, but I think I should. And then I got thinking like, oh, maybe I should get the top done. I wanted to have the name of the zoo across the top there, like Shady Zoo. I don't know if I like that name yet though, so maybe next part. And then I was like, oh, we need some railing. I took forever to choose the railing for these stairs. Like, I spent a good 10-20 minutes trying to find pieces that I liked. I did find this one fairly quickly. And then I was like, oh, I can do the thing where the wood sits on top of it. It will be great. It will look like an actual handrail. And then the gizmo decided to just make my life into a living hell, because yeah, in this point I realized that it might be nicer if it doesn't have the sticky out bit at the end, but then I was like, no, I actually want the sticky out bit at the end, so, you know. I need a drink right now, so I'm sorry. So many ums. And sorry for the squeaky chair. What I'm doing right now is trying to align it perfectly and then trying to still get the gizmo to work, because I tried so hard to make it like the same level as people's hands would be, so it's a comfortable handrail. And then, oh, this is where my pain comes in, and trying to find the right pieces. Not this wood piece is fine. And originally I was just gonna do a straight down thing like that, but then I was like, oh, it might be a lot cooler if I had like planks and then breaks and then planks and then breaks, but I needed something to hold them together, and I was like, oh, none of the pieces are made for that. All of these are too massive. I wanted just a straight like wooden piece, which might be nice, but I couldn't find one. Oh my god, you can see the efforts I went through. I remember the toilet signs had like things on them, but then that one was too tiny, basically. And then there was a lot of big things. I looked through everything again. I think I decided to go with that one for a bit, but then I realized if I wanted to, because I thought that like the wood thing can cover that flat thing at the bottom, it's too wide. Like the wood did not cover it, and I was just like, I don't want that bit to be any thicker than 2 planks of wood, so I just decided to go searching once again. I think this thing ended up being, oh, the circle thing at the top was the thing that was sticking out, and I was just like, nope. And then I went back to the original piece that I had from the very beginning. This was after like 10-20 minutes. Keep in mind that this video is at 8 times the speed, so... Oh, I need to stop hitting the mic. And then I was like, okay, this is sort of what I want my fence to look like, although right now I'm a bit worried that the very bottom row of planks looks a bit too far away, so I might have to go and fix that. I'm really sad right now about that. I kept copying and pasting it down to make a nice railing. I'm probably gonna adjust some of the metal holder things, because I don't think they're equidistant. Yeah, and then this last bit, since I made the previous bits all into groups by themselves, like it would have been a pain to separate them. So here, I am trying really hard to select things, but the camera just keeps like going halfway across the map, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to see if they're aligned. Can you please let me look at it? See, it went underwater for some reason. Yeah, this was a pain to do, but eventually I think I got there. Luckily after this I just need to select all the pieces and then slide them across. Yeah, those are definitely not the same distance apart as the ones at the top, so I'm sorry. And that is the end of that build. I will give you a picture in a second of the final product. Okay, I will see you again later.